Am I nervous?
Yeah,
I'm never nervous. I am never nervous. You know?
I believe you're not nervous now, but I don't believe you're not. You're never nervous.
I'm nervous about a lot of things, but talking to people,
Okay. I don't know about all that.
You don't know? My brother was cracking up. He said, "You doing it in person? Who is this?" I was like, "They requested it. I'm just trying to accommodate."
Oh, y'all, excuse me, because you know how much I hate to interrupt your scroll. So let me hurry up and get through this, because you can go back to doing what you got to do, and I can go back to doing what I got to do. And I made an illustration just to make it easier for everybody. All right? This is me, and this is you. Okay? And this could be a family, friend, co-worker, alone in the world with a little cat dog. I don't care who it is, to whom it may concern. However, when we get together, it is now us. You know what always gets me is when we first start out, it's always cool, calm, and collected. I like it that way. But somewhere along the lines, you realize, this is you once again, realizing that you like to play games. Okay? You have become so fascinated with playing games that now all of a sudden you think that you could play with me. Here's you thinking that you can play with me. That's crazy. It's honestly crazy, but obviously you like to live on the edge. Okay? Now, you realize that you found a new love for these games, that you want to incorporate them in your everyday lifestyle. You are dedicated to the process. You are even willing to bet it all. Now, here's this person who knows what I know, and they know that you are in a great deal of trouble, okay? What a dummy is what you call it, because to bet all of that and to only be left with my ass to kiss is diabolical. It's honestly insane if you ask me. All right now. All right, because the thing is this. Let me break it down for anybody who may be a little confused in translation. Here you are with the right idea, but the wrong bitch. Okay? It's very simple. It's extremely simple. Okay? Right idea, once again, wrong bitch. Yeah. So now that I have gotten wind of what you think is about to take place, I am pointing you in the direction of where maybe someone would like to play games, okay? Which is all the way over there, okay? Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. Okay, I want you to go further, and further, and further away. You're so excited to continue on with these games that you're like, how much further do I have to go? You are so busy making your way downtown, walking fast, okay? You want to get there. You're excited. And even through all of this, even through it all, I'm still being a good Samaritan, a team player, if you will. I grab my magnifying glass because I am determined to help you find you something safe to do. All right, y'all. Well, look, share with those who need to know. Have a good one. Oh, y'all.
Well, hello. Welcome to All in the Queue. If you would, please like, subscribe, and share. You see my guest is here, right? Already here, ready to go. He wanted to be next to the super producer, just to let y'all know. So, let me see who's in the room so I can speak. We can get started. What's up, Justin? Shanita. What's up, Dave from New Zealand? The mayor of Dalton. What you doing in here? What are you doing in here? What up, Nope, not even. Prima Donna, how are you this evening? I hope you're well. Listen, let me tell you something first. Had an interview yesterday with Regina Waldrop with my members. You should become a member, and then you can get access to the interview. Ask the people that's members in the chat. They're going to tell you that that interview was awesome, okay? Learned a lot of things about Regina Waldrop, and we talked about a lot of things too, okay? Hey, Chuck. Hey, K-Mac, what's up? All right. We're going to get started with Denasha Harrison. Mr. Harrison? Should I call you Mr. Harrison?
Whatever you're comfortable with. Denasha Harrison. However you feel like.
Y'all heard it.
That's right.
Y'all heard it.
Hello, everybody.
Put a 1 in the chat to make sure. We want to make sure that you're hearing us. Put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me and Denasha, put a 1 in the chat for me. Hey, Light Within. Okay, Carol Moore, and you can hear me. Did y'all hear Denasha? Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Guess what we're getting ready to do first? We're going to have an icebreaker, because what do you do at the office meetings? You have icebreakers so you can get to know people, right? We're getting to know Mr. Harrison, right? Mr. Harrison. And let me tell y'all something. Mr. Harrison, a little bit all right in person. Let y'all know that. I'll let y'all know more later in the private member community. We'll talk about it. Anywho,
Hello. How are you?
Oh, how are you?
Good.
Okay, we're gonna play a game. The
Okay.
game is called This or That.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to pick one thing or the other. So this will be This or That,
Okay.
the Denasha Harrison edition. Okay, because we're gonna be respectful in these comments tonight, right? Because super producer got time tonight if we not. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
This,
You ready?
This or that.
This or that.
Got it.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
That was fast.
Hey, absolutely. I don't have anything against cats, but my preference, dog.
Okay. Firm on that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Fall or spring?
Fall.
Books or TV?
Books.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Yeah, I answered a little bit too fast on that. So ask me again.
Coffee or tea?
Yes. Okay. Next.
Denny's or IHOP?
Ooh, IHOP all day.
John Lewis or Jesse Jackson?
Oh, come on now. I thought this was supposed to be fun.
It is fun.
Okay. Really?
Yes, John Lewis or Jesse Jackson, one or the other. I let you pick both on coffee and tea, and I'm not going to do that on
See
this.
there. So Jesse's still with us. The Reverend's still with us.
Okay.
So John Lewis.
John Lewis.
There
Okay.
you go. Respect.
Dave Bryson. We're in a studio, right? And so I hope. Now, see, this is going to jack everything. See, this is why. Who calling me? Call me. Hold on. Because look, we frozen on YouTube, so we ain't gotta worry about it. Yes. So the people was telling me right here.
Okay.
So give me 1 second.
No,
You didn't do that.
No, I'm not a disrespectful person.
I don't think
I'm
so.
not that guy.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So give me 1 second. Let me fix this. Cause I'm like, now people gonna say some crazy things.
Sure, for sure.
Somebody is like, I think I'm gonna have to switch. Cause she told me it might be some issues with the Wi-Fi here.
Do you need to get her now? Or?
Is she still sitting out
Yeah,
there?
she's right there.
Because I got an HDMI cable and they got Ethernet in here, and I don't have no Ethernet cable.
We are frozen.
Yeah, I'm frozen on YouTube. I don't have the Ethernet port, and that's how y'all hardwire in, right? All I have is HDMI. Give me 1 second. Because if I have to record this, that's not an issue either. I don't want to, but I will.
doesn't look like you have Ethernet.
Yeah, the newer ones don't have Ethernet ports, but
I know
It's
they
all-
have like adapters, but I don't think we have them here.
it's all good. Child, my phone is going off. Do I?
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not seeing myself. Okay. Now, we back.
Okay, we back. Okay.
We back.
Little delay.
Okay. Little delay. Mr. Harrison is the one who wanted to be in person. Okay. I'm just gonna let y'all know. But we back.
I thought that's how you did it.
We back.
So
Okay. Y'all hear me?
Hmm.
Everything cool? We good? Where we stop at on the game so that we can go back. Because the game was, I felt like was going good.
I think it was John Lewis or Jesse Jackson.
Okay.
Hmm.
Since you wanted to, let me put this right here
Hey.
so I can see. So I can see what's happening.
And thank you so much for doing this in person. I'd just like to reiterate that. I appreciate that.
Cause you got the super producer out here looking crazy. Just to let you know.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I can see myself. Make sure we don't stop. Okay. Sounds good. Video is good. We good.
Okay.
I feel like I keep going out of frame. Can y'all see me now? Okay. Oh, I'm actually gonna have to be close to Mr. Harrison.
We'll play that
Okay.
game.
Okay.
Come on, where we at?
We stopped on John Lewis or Jesse Jackson.
Right. You said John Lewis.
John Lewis.
Mhm.
Can y'all hear him? He said John Lewis.
Mhm.
Y'all hear him? Nope, not even. We're gonna get there. You're a little fast today. Okay. Oh. Ice cream or cake?
Huh?
Ice cream.
You can't have ice cream without cake? Well, I guess, yeah. So ice cream. Ice cream. There we go.
Do y'all see this man trying to change the rules on my
just
show?
saying,
Do y'all see
ice
this?
cream or cake? I mean, that's okay. Ice cream. It's
Okay.
like saying, I can see if you said like cake or pie, or ice cream
Ice
or
cream.
icy cup.
Ice
something
cream.
like that.
Fish or steak?
I thought this game was supposed to be fun.
It is fun. I'm
Okay.
having fun.
Fish.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Museum or nightclub?
Museum.
The ends to this or that.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I win?
Okay. Y'all just gonna have to bear with it. We're gonna get through this. Okay? We're gonna get through this. When I see us pop back on the other side, then I'm gonna start. We back? We back. It's delayed, we'll be back. Okay, so we're gonna start out with your resume. Lots of people had questions on your resume. Can you give the people a little bit of your resume?
Absolutely. So I was born in Chicago, West Side. Grew up on the West Side of Chicago. Ended up moving from Illinois to Michigan. So spent some time in a place called Kalamazoo, Michigan. From there, I left and went to the Marine Corps. So 1991, went to the Marine Corps, spent over 20 years in the Marine Corps. Served my country honorably, came back, did what I call agency work on the East Coast, got involved with politics with the Bowser administration. Currently, Mayor Bowser is serving as the mayor of Washington, D.C. So I was a commissioner under Mayor Bowser, doing work. Chicago. So now I live in a place called Dalton, Illinois. 5 grandkids, a wonderful girlfriend, and I have a wonderful family. As far as my mother, she's still with us. My father passed a while back, and then I have one brother. So we're very close family, very tight. We believe in public service, right?
Mm-hmm.
We believe in leaving the place better than you found it and getting involved, whether it constitutes a paycheck or not. We just part. So that's a little bit about me. I live in Dalton. Moved to Dalton a little over 2 years ago. So, yeah.
Okay.
You want to add anything else to that, or did I miss something? Skip something? Okay.
You didn't miss anything for me.
Okay. Gotcha.
Y'all, this connection, tripping. I'm trying to see how long we delayed. Maybe a few minutes. Okay, y'all listen. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna upload before I leave here so that you all will have this great conversation. I have you all's questions that you asked. Unless you want to see, because I still can upload the video because it's recording. And so I can upload it so that you all can see what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You all want to work your way through this connection, or y'all want me to just upload? Let me know. Because I will upload directly after we finish. Justin said do both.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just try to get through it.
Okay. I'll re-upload. So if we freeze, don't worry about it. I'll upload this whole thing. Okay? I'll re-upload it. All right. So you are running under the Rebuild Dalton party with Cassandra Hobson Jordan as she's running for mayor and you're running for trustee.
Correct.
Could you tell the people a little bit about you all's the mission of Rebuild Dalton party? What was the plan? What's your platform that you're running on?
That's a great question. Thank you for that. When I first moved here, if I can back up a little bit before I start talking about what we want to do for people and what we want to do for Dalton, there was a lot of people, and there's still a lot of people on what I call the hate train, right? There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of accusations. There's a lot of finger pointing. And I've said in the past that you have the people in the middle. At the last, I want to say town hall at the Park District, I spoke about how it takes a legislative body to put the people first. And so there may be a lot of great ideas out there on the table, but to include Mrs. Hobson Jordan, we haven't seen much besides the fighting and the arguing and the back and forth and the accusation. And so we got together and decided that, plans in place is what people are really looking for beyond the rhetoric. So I'll give you an example of some of the things that we're working on for Dalton. Today, Mrs. Hobson Jordan actually had a few meetings with some corporate executives about potentially coming to Dalton and breaking ground. Now, because it's not officially the case, I'm not going to start throwing names out there about different hotels and restaurants and colleges and hospitals, but we're in the process of trying to attract businesses to Dalton to ensure that the way out of a deficit is not just taxing the people. I myself would love to see a wonderful recycling program in Dalton because it's great for the environment and it's great for, putting something in Dalton that people can actually get behind and can actually bring money in Dalton as well. I would like to see a veterans home in Dalton, to include a potential veteran museum in Dalton, to include educational facilities that, again, can be viable in a place like the one that we live in. We have the real estate, we have the people, and I believe that we have the potential to recycle tax dollars for Dalton. So those are just some of the examples of the ideas that we have for the Rebuilding Dalton campaign.
And I'm sorry, something's in my eye. And so do you plan to continue these things, whether you win or not?
And we talked about that before. If you have a party that's for the people, then that party should not be contingent on if they win or lose. We genuinely care for people. And so whether those seats are won or not, we still plan on knocking on doors. We still plan on fielding ideas. We still plan on talking to businesses to see if they want to invest in our village, in our community. So to answer your question, yes.
How did you connect with Cassandra Hobson Jordan and you two, and how did you two connect?
So I was at the village. I can't remember if it was during a meeting or because I announced on a Monday that I was putting my hat in the ring for my candidacy for trustee. We kind of heard each other talking in passing, and she said, well, I'm gonna run for mayor and I'm gonna run an independent campaign. And I'm like, well, I didn't necessarily say I was gonna sign up with anybody to trustee. So we got to talking, and that's how we decided to just get together and run on our own ticket.
Okay, so now let's maybe get to an uncomfortable question. Do you know the current mayor of Dalton? Do you know her? Have you been in communication with her? That seems to be a running theme that people feel like you guys were sent.
As plants?
Right.
Right. So we hear that often. I don't believe that Cassandra Hobson Jordan has ever personally met Tiffany Henyard. I met Tiffany Henyard when I first moved into the village. So this is the whole story. I met 3 people when I first moved into the village, trying to figure out where to, register or figure out, what was going on with the politics because I wanted to volunteer. So when I came in the village, Mayor Henyard was walking through the back door. So I met Chief Lacey at the time, Keith Freeman, and Mayor Henyard all at the same time. So talked to her, introduced myself. She introduced herself. We had some small talk about, me moving into the village, what I would like to do, how I would like to volunteer and how I would like to get involved. Since that conversation, the next time I saw her, I think, was at Blueberry Hill restaurant. They were having some type of event for veterans.
Okay.
So I happened to go to get some breakfast, and she happened to be in Blueberry Hill talking. Again, herself, Keith Freeman, Chief Lacey at the time, and a couple other folks. I think Mr. Brown was there as well. Chopped it up. Hey, remember me? I'm Danasha, the guy you met at the village. And then after that, I believe I met her at the place that should be the police station, but it's not police station.
Melanie Fitness.
Melanie Fitness Center. There was a Christmas vibe going on. My mom was in town. So we went over and she met the mayor. And then I think another time at Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, and when I went to vote, she was at the high school over there. So those are the only times that I've interacted with the mayor. So to say that I'm a plant, I am not. I am not running on her ticket. She has not advised me on running on somebody else's ticket. She has her views about how she's getting through what she's going through, and I have my views about what I feel is good for the village. So for those who feel like I'm a plant, I said a long time ago, I'm nobody's obstacle. I'm nobody's roadblock, and I'm also nobody's yes man. So to answer those questions, I am not a Tiffany plant. I think I can speak for Cassandra Hobson Jordan as well. She is not a Tiffany plant. And for those who feel like this may not be the truth, you're always welcome to have a conversation with myself. You're always welcome to have a conversation with Cassandra Hobson Jordan as well about your views and opinions and why you feel that we are what we're telling you we're not.
And why did you choose the office of trustee versus the office of mayor?
Oh, so, and thank you for that question. Before the office of trustee, after having those conversations, I want to, I think his name was Stewart, a brother by the name of Commissioner Stewart. So I ended up talking to him about being on the Fire and Safety Commission Board, you know, volunteer, right? Reviewing things and just being a part of that whole policy process because I've had prior experience with those things. And it's about the Fire and Safety, you know, commission that's responsible for safety in the community, responsible for oversight concerning our firemen and our police officers. So I say, you know what? I love to volunteer. Unfortunately, when I continue to reach out for whatever reason, I believe they had some other things going on to where nobody got back to me to start the process. And so that was that. So here I am. I still want to volunteer. I still want to become a part of my community. After serving over 20 years in the Marine Corps, all over the world, and some of the people have heard me say this before, the least that I can do is serve my community that I live in. So did a little bit of research, did some homework, and I felt that being a trustee for my village would help me add to some of the solutions that are possibly on the table.
Now, you're aware that there is a deficit in Dalton, correct?
Mm-hmm.
From the, at least from the Lori Lightfoot report, right?
Right.
So what are your plans? What will be your plans as a trustee in the trustee role to overcome said deficit? Where's the rebuild Dalton party going to start if they win?
Again, great question. You don't get everything that you want as a politician. As somebody that's doing legislation for the people, you have to compromise. And so where I would start is talking to hopefully my fellow trustees about where the transparency is. So if the trustees are responsible for the purse and everything's spent of the purse, then someone's responsible of knowing where the money went. And I believe before we try to come up with solutions on how we're going to close that gap concerning that deficit, we have to know where the money truly went. Uh, Mayor Lori Lightfoot did do a financial audit.
Mm-hmm.
It did show how much money went to what, but you still did not see specific names on who spent what,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So until, and from my understanding, there is a federal investigation going at this point. And what I've understood about federal investigations is that, those investigations don't reveal everything that's going on with them. And the reason that I say that is because there's some answers to a lot of people questions embedded in that investigation. I believe that there are.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that if the FBI is doing something or there's some type of formal investigation on something, they're investigating something based on some type of fact or some type of accusation. And so at the end of the process, to get dollars back into Dalton, you have to ensure that the businesses that are already in Dalton are doing their fair share regarding taxes, regarding the rules, the regulations, and regarding the different types of ordinances that are in place for them to follow as small businesses. And you have to also court other small businesses to come in. And we like the fact that you have entrepreneurs that want to open up in our village. That's something that you should not discourage. However, to turn the tide on the amount of money that is missing concerning the deficit, we need big businesses to come in. And we need big businesses to create jobs for the people in Dalton, to include keeping that dollar in Dalton. Yes, we're about 20 to 25 minutes away from Chicago, and we all love our big city, Chicago. However, there's so many things that could be done in Dalton, in the village. We touch more than one or two highways, right? We're in a very strategic location when it comes to, again, real estate. Over 400 houses are sitting empty, and we don't want that to rise. We don't want people to lose their houses. This year, on Mrs. Hobson George's block on Ingleside, her neighbor right across the street lost his house because he could not afford to stay in it. And there's people, I am sure, that are in that predicament. So to try to give some brevity to your question, getting small businesses to do their part that are already in our village, following the rules, regulations, ordinances, courting other small businesses, actually giving the permits necessary for them to produce, and getting big businesses into the village, I think will turn that around and turn that around quickly. And there is a possibility that taxes may have to be raised. I don't believe that you should sugarcoat anything. I don't believe that you should sell people the idea that, hey, if you get me in office, we're not going to touch anything concerning your taxes. If you don't know that, why would you say that? People want it straight, no chaser. People want the black and white because there's been so much going on with all the hate train riders. People want to hear black and white. What's the plan? What's the solution? I would like to hear more of people's ideas for the plans and solutions that we have. And before I decided to run, I wanted to know what the solution was. Before I decided to run, I wanted to know what the current administration had going on, what those who were potentially running had going on. And all I heard was the argument back and forth. So I decided to throw my hat in the ring.
Okay, guys, listen. I see all of your questions. I have starred a few. We'll come back to them. Give me just a few minutes. I have like 3 more questions of my own. And we'll get to a few questions that are here. We're going to be here. Okay. So when you came in to go into meetings and things like that, I don't know if you know, but I'm going to let you know now if you don't know. There used to be separate committees, meetings. So different trustees were over different committees.
I heard that.
And then you come together at the committee of the whole to vote and do the things you need to do. Okay. So if you were assigned to the police and oversight committee as the presiding trustee, what suggestions would you have to address the pitfalls that are currently in the police? There is a lack of a police chief, and there's just the overall morale, and how would you attract great candidates to come to Dalton for the police department?
You have to start with the people that's doing the job. You have to talk to your officers, and you talk to your residences that's affected by the people that's doing the job. There was a brother by the name, I want to say his name was Brian. I could be getting that wrong, but he lost his son last year. His son was killed in Dalton, and he shared an amazing story with us. He told us that he had to actually go to the police station, start his own investigation, and that no one came to talk to him about the loss of his son. And I ended up meeting him because we were knocking on doors and actually putting thank you cards in the mail for those who signed on our petition, just continuing to get our message out. That's how I met him. And so the reason that I share that story is because I believe that it's important to talk to the people who are most affected by our police departments, fire departments, maintenance departments, those who are entrusted in working for the people. So for myself, I would talk to the officers, get their opinions, their ideas, their experiences, because when we see the police officers, we see them in the truck, we see them doing their job. You know, if we go down to the police station, we see that they're within their duties, but these are people like everybody else. So we want to make sure that we harvest the information from them to make their department a better place. We want to make sure that we talk to the residents that have been most affected by the police department and other departments from the village and get their ideas. And then at that point, we can move forward to get more people on board to work for the village.
Okay, do you or does the Rebuild Dalton Party have any plans to have any events to get out and meet residents?
Absolutely. We've already been meeting the residences door to door, but we do want to secure a venue so that people can have action with us. But you'll probably have us knocking on your door before you can come to. And so now that we are officially on the ballot, you're going to start seeing more specific scheduled times where we can continue to get our message out and continue to meet the people and actually hear what the concerns of the people are. Again, beyond what we've seen on clickbait, beyond what we've seen in that moment at the village, the town halls, the tea with the trustees. We want to go beyond that. So to answer your question, yes, we will have some planned events where the people can come and talk with us, meet with us, or enjoy whatever it is that we have going on at that event.
All right. The next questions are going to be coming from the viewers.
Okay.
So I've stalled your questions here. So I'll be mixing those with the questions that I took from the post. If you haven't gone to the community post, you all posted questions there. I have them with me here. And now I'm going to go into the portion where I asked Mr. Harrison what you wanted to know. So the first question that somebody left was, what would you do different from the current administration? And when I say current administration, that doesn't include the trustees, because right now we know it is that administration that is really controlling everything. They want to know, what would you do different from the tenured administration, and how can you better the community?
I would lead better. And that's no knock on whoever's in the trenches leading now, right? People have different leadership styles. So I would lead better, and let me explain what I mean by that. Again, you have to know your people, know your village, and know the problem. And so the first thing that we have to demand is transparency. We have to demand transparency about finances, and we have to communicate. So let's take a look at what are the needs. Again, the needs are to ensure that the tax dollars are going where they need to go, to ensure that dollars are generated, that the dollars that are in Dalton stay in Dalton. So that means that we need to court businesses to come in. We need to monitor the small businesses that are there, making sure that they have the resources that they need to stay in Dalton and not make any side deals, meaning that, we're being threatened that somebody's going to move out if they don't do their fair share, if they don't pay their fair share of taxes, if they don't pay, their fair share to do what they need to do for the people of the village. Those are the type of business that we don't need, right? If the people of Dalton have to pay taxes, the businesses should have to pay taxes as well. Now, the tax structure, I'm sure, is different. However, everybody should pay their fair share. So identifying what the issues are and being transparent, I think, is the first step to ensuring that the people get what they need in the village or out of the village. I've heard many times that people have called for permits or people have called for information on their, escrows, things of that nature. And they either don't get a response back or people aren't responding back in a timely manner for them to take care of it. One of the first things that I would do is not do something that I can't deliver. I have to find out what the issues are first. And that means that the chiefs and whoever's going to be in that seat have to be very transparent and very forthcoming with the people. I'm not going to wait 2, 3, 4 years before I start telling the people, what it really is. So again, getting businesses in, having those conversations with people to invest.
Okay, I feel like this was a great question. This next question. Just to reiterate something, Mr. Harrison is a retired staff, and he definitely knows how to move people around. So that is his qualification for leadership. Okay, courage, honor, commitment are the core values of the Marine Corps. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you did your homework. Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask this question with that in mind. Y'all keep that in mind. So I already told them your background, leadership positions that were held. Can you share an example of how you have handled in your own life or where someone in authority made unethical choices and disappointed you and how you dealt with that?
Not so much on my watch as a United States Marine, because we do not tolerate somebody being unethical when it comes to leadership. We have our leadership principles and traits, right? So you know what it is when you're doing the job, right? If I was a witness to something that was unethical, I would have to speak up. It's my obligation. It's my obligation as a leader, but more importantly, it's my obligation as a servant. Because if I'm allowing unethical activities to go unchecked, then we're not even getting into the law of it. Not only is that unlawful, but someone on that end is suffering because of somebody's actions of being unethical. So ethics is paramount. Leadership is paramount. The people is paramount. And unethical activities will not be tolerated. Absolutely not. And that's beyond if I'm a trustee. As a citizen that loves my people, that loves where I live at, that's something that I cannot allow to go unchecked.
Okay. Next question. They said, this is the question. Form a new party. How many Dalton meetings have you attended the past 4 years?
Well, I haven't been here for 4 years to attend those meetings, number one. Number two, I believe it's important to form a different party, independent of the current parties, because the current party is linked to the current administration. And so if you are aligning yourself with a party that's the same as the incumbent, then it's an uphill battle politically. No, now we're not talking about pointing fingers saying I'm the better Democrat than this person, or I'm the better Republican than this person, or our party's the better party from the Democratic Party. We want to ensure that people who are aligned with the party but don't really agree with what the administration is doing doesn't have any conflict. They have to make a different choice. See, the majority of us have grown up Democratic views, uh, but you're a Democrat or a Republican, and as an independent, as I'm a Democrat running on an independent ticket. So just so y'all know where I am. But whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or building Dalton Park, you want the same things. You want accountability, you want transparency, you want a safe community, you want to make sure that the money that you work hard for and that you work hard to live in is yours and it's going to be yours, and you're not going to get priced out of the place that you live in. You want to make sure that the businesses that are coming into your village are respecting the people, not just the dollar. You want to make sure that everybody has buy-in and that everything that we do as legislators puts the people first. So as far as the meetings, no, I haven't gone to meetings for 4 years, but I can tell you that I don't have the same history that a lot of people do in Dalton, but I've seen when I went to one of those meetings. One of those meetings was one too many for me to say, you know what, I've seen enough, because it's very confusing to see the disrespect from all sides. It stems from somewhere. And though I wasn't here to figure out where it stemmed from, I don't have the same relationships that a lot of people in the village have with the current administration or some of the residents. I don't have those relationships. I think that that's an advantage for those who do have those relationships, because they know a lot of details as to why what's broke is broken. But I will say this: if you have those relationships and if you truly care for your village, your hat in the ring, or back the individuals that are putting their hat in the ring to show the people something different.
Now, this portion, we will be going to the questions that I start from the comments. Okay, I'm going to post them as I ask. You can see and verify that I'm asking those questions. Okay. Now, computer translates. I want to show you. I'm gonna ask a question. First question: Did so you're saying did she ever ask you to run with her?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I first came to Dalton, I started running for trustee. It came up about running with the mayor, and this is before I knew anything that was going on. The reason I decided not to, not that somebody had,
You can
Okay,
finish your
so
answer.
yeah, I did not want to align myself. The answer was yes, but I did not want to align myself with uh, some things that I had no knowledge of or didn't agree with. So the conversation was that I cannot run on a ticket that I don't agree with. And so, and for myself, if someone's under federal investigation where there's smoke, there may be fire. I felt that people need to see me for what I'm trying to do for the village. And if I'm aligning myself with a ticket with so much smoke, right or wrong, indifferent, so much heat, and then we find out that there's other things that are unfolding and unfolding, that no matter what comes out of this or no matter what happens, that my attempt to do for the village in the position of trustee would be over before it began.
Okay. There's a question being asked. Do you know William Moore?
Mm-mm. I may have seen him. I don't know if I do know him or not. I met a lot of people over the past several months, but I'm not sure if I know him or not. And if you are William Moore out there listening and you feel like you know me, I apologize. Maybe I need to see you, have a conversation with you.
Do you feel like you can work with Jason House and the other trustees if you so happen to get a seat?
I can work with anybody that's willing to work with me. I put that out there before I put my hat in the ring to run for trustee. And so to answer that question, absolutely. I think we get a little bit too personal and we mix being personal and passionate together when sometimes we shouldn't. I believe that you can be passionate about some of the things that you believe in that would be good solutions for some of the issues that we have in Dalton. But when you get too personal, then I believe that you lose your way for the people, if that makes sense. So, yes, I believe I can.
Somebody wanted to know, why hasn't this ticket addressed Tiffany and what she's doing
Concerning what?
concerning monetary theft, concerning non-transparency, concerning these appointments
Right.
of these unscrupulous people?
Right.
Do you all plan on making a statement?
Well, I believe that a statement was made on the 16th of December, shortly before 1 o'clock. Cassandra Hobson Jordan, I believe at 12:30, was doing an interview with ABC, CBS, Fox 32, and WGN. She did talk about the condition of the community. She did talk about how businesses need to come in. And I believe that she did reference some of the things concerning what the mayor has not done. Now, concerning myself, there's a lot out there already. So if you want me to denounce or if you want me to support what she's done, what she didn't do, or you want me to support or denounce House or anybody else trustee wise, I'm not about to get on that hate train. You got an opinion, I have an opinion. I'm not for or against people concerning the public opinion arena. My position is that you got to do people right. If the law says that Tiffany Henyard or anybody else has not done the people right, then I'm not standing behind it. I don't stand for people who don't stand for the people. And I won't stand for people who don't stand for the people. And so if you want to know what my political views are, I'm going to continue to talk to you about it, and I'm going to continue to be passionate about it. I'm going to be passionate about it with a smile. But if you want me to get mixed up in a personal mess, I'm not about that hate. Now, again, I don't stand for wrong, and I never will. If somebody's proven to do wrong, I'm not going to stand with that person. I'm not going to stop loving folks. But again, I'm not going to stand with people that do other people wrong.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you something. I don't know. I was there outside. So this question is about the caucus. Apparently, something happened at the caucus.
For the township.
Yes.
Mhm.
However, this question is specific to something that they feel like you did. Were you there at the caucus?
I wasn't there.
Mr. Harrison
I wasn't at the caucus.
was not at the caucus.
Mm-mm.
So you all thought it was him hollering at trustee-elect Ed Steve. He says he was not at the caucus.
What's the question now?
The question is, why did you holler? I think it is at Ed Steve at the caucus. I can't see your other comments.
No,
I'll come back to him.
I wasn't at the caucus, and I know Ed Steve. We talked numerous of times. I don't have any ill will towards him or anybody else. So I was not at the caucus. And I just saw a question come over like, what has Mr. Harrison done for Dalton?
Bro.
Okay, so I haven't done anything negative for Dalton. When I see people at the gas station, when I see them at the grocery stores, I speak to them, I encourage them. When I see people along the way, I'm a good citizen. So I haven't had the opportunity to do for Dalton from a position as a trustee yet. And I'm asking that you give me the opportunity to do so. I don't have any ill will or anger towards anybody, but it seems like a lot of people are just really angry. And I can understand passion because people are frustrated. And people, and I said this earlier in the beginning of the show, people have relationships with folks who they have experiences with. They've seen that they've done great legislation. They've seen that they've championed great ideas. They've partnered up with people who've lived in Dalton for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. I just moved here and I want to make a difference. So to answer your question, from a legislative perspective, I've given some great ideas and I would like to implement those great ideas. But I haven't done anything for Dalton yet because I haven't been elected to do so, which is why I'm asking you to elect me as your trustee so that I can do for Dalton. And if you want to know about my ideas, then let's have a conversation.
Okay. Do you like the idea of working with, like, let's say you get a seat. I believe that this is what this question entails. How do you feel about the job that the current trustees are doing? I know that's a question that people want to know. How do you feel that what the current trustees are doing? How do you feel about them? How do you feel about what they're doing?
Well, I think that the decorum, I think that they've been tested. I think that everybody has been tested, especially the trustees concerning the decorum, meaning Robert's rules, right? And this is my opinion. I feel like I see them struggling, trying to get things pushed forward for the people. But for whatever reason, because I don't know what's happening behind those closed doors, I don't know what's happening in those groups, but it seems like the process has always just been at a standstill. So I'd be a fool if I would sit here and say that I don't believe that anybody's trying to move, things forward for the people. It takes a process with more than one person to make these things happen. So as far as how I feel about them, I don't know them personally. I don't mind getting to know them and others personally. But as far as the type of job that they've done, I've heard about some things that have been put on the table. And I believe that there are a lot of good ideas that have come from the trustees.
Susie Q, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to ask you a question. Sir, do you expect us to believe you don't see the tyrant in this administration is all over the news and court rulings? That's a slap in the face.
How is that a slap in the face? Because I'm not, okay. So because I'm not getting sucked into all the personal things that are factual on TV or allegedly done on TV, I'm not slapping anybody in the face. What I'm doing is trying to focus on what can be done for the village. So my position as someone who wants to be your elected official is to get down to the business beyond the smoke. So whether it's true, whether it's facts or allegedly done, I'm not about to get my emotions tangled up into stuff that's already taken care of. Don't think that I'm for the BS, because I'm not. I'm about the legislative process that will move this village forward. And I would encourage others to continue to be passionate about where you live and what needs to be done, and give all that other mess rest. Rest on that mess, because it's not doing anything but raising your blood pressure. If she's going to jail, she's going to jail. If she's not, she's not. But at the end of the day, what's going on with your village? If the trustees got something to do with it, they might be going to jail too. If they don't, then they won't. And hopefully I'll be sitting next to them legislating for the village.
Somebody wanted to know, do you own or rent?
I own.
All right, so I have a question of my own. So have you and Ms. Hobson Jordan talked about or began to formulate any type of ordinances that you all want to see or plan on putting in place? There are over, like you said, 400 vacant homes in Dalton. Something that needs to be addressed. Just recently, a few days ago, there was a runaway child, and there was a whole bunch of children, but there was one in specific that was found in one of these vacant homes. Have you all began to write any type of ordinances or talk about any type of ordinances that you all plan to implement or try to get implemented if you all are elected?
So we talk about ordinances often, but as far as actually putting pen to paper to actually start the process of legislation, no, we haven't. I believe that we definitely have to work with the trustees that are in place to write legislation or review legislation that's already on the books, but just has not been implemented. Again, I believe that there are a lot of wonderful ideas that are already on the books. The issue is lack of execution. And so I would love to review every ordinance that I would be responsible for executing with my fellow trustees if I'm elected.
Someone asked, did you benefit from the roofs or the windows?
No, I wasn't. Again, I heard about that program, but no, I did not benefit from that program. As a veteran, I was able to utilize my resources to purchase my home. Again, I'm a retired Marine, so one of the benefits that I got was that I was able to use my VA loan to purchase my home, which brings me to a point that I would like to address. We have a lot of veterans in our community, and there's a lot of information out there that I would like to get out to our fellow veterans on how they can leverage the opportunities that are not advertised, that are not spoken of. An example that I would like to give is I have a family member who served in the United States Air Force, I want to say for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And because he did not retire after 20 years of service, he didn't think that he rated certain benefits. We sat down, got together, come to find out, just because he did 4 years doesn't mean that he didn't rate benefits. So he's actually taking advantage of those benefits today. And I want to bring more of that to the village. So to answer that question, no, I haven't benefited from any type of village program concerning where I live.
So I have another one of my own questions. So I just want it on record. So Lori Lightfoot came and told us that $6 million is missing.
Mm-hmm.
We know for a fact that this current mayor signed a check with one signature for over $500,000. We know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Kiana Belcher showed us that receipt.
That's right.
Do you feel, because of the things that we know,
Mm-hmm.
that she should go to jail?
Absolutely. She broke the law. And I feel like if you broke the law, you should pay for the laws that you broke. So that's with anybody. So, but we're talking about the current mayor. So if the mayor broke the law, then she should not be reelected. So yes.
Someone asked, have you volunteered in the community?
So currently, I attempted to volunteer again on the Fire and Safety Commission board. So no, I have not, but I have volunteered for my country. So that does kind of cover the community. After volunteering to serve over 20 years and to serve with distinction, honorably, I have volunteered and I have served, and I'm looking forward to serving more in the Dalton community.
Okay, guys. That's all the questions I had for him. I am put some of the questions that you all had for him. I see some people saying, this is one comment that I just want to address personally. Dude is old for this job, no government experience. He's a retired Marine staff sergeant of 20 years. I just want to let you know that, because I don't want you to keep saying that, because that's not true. Okay. I don't want you all to leave away from here with anything that is not true. This man served his country. He fought for the freedoms that we have for 20 years.
I'd like to address that in that other question above
Which
that
one?
right there.
This one?
He says no. He says no, but he was pretty chummy with Tiff and the crew when he was at the Dalton meeting. I feel like he's connected somewhere. Well, let me address that again.
Okay.
Right? I am not connected to anyone specifically about their policies, what went down, what's going down. I care about people. And so I don't know what your definition of chummy is, but if your definition of chummy is to be someone that's cordial, respectful, not being moved by all the rigmarole and the BS that's going on in the community that I live in, then I would say that you're right. I'm going to be respectful in spite of how others choose to be towards me or others. So I believe that you should lead with peace, and you should lead with transparency, and you should lead with communication. So maybe what you saw as being chummy was someone being cordial, respectful, and at ease and at peace. Because again, as I've said before on my show, I've seen some things that people should have never had to see. I've experienced things that people should never have to experience. This is what happens when pride goes before the fall. This is what happens when you're not amicable to somebody because they're a human being. Right or wrong, you're somebody's son or daughter, mother, father, brother, sister. And I don't need to be up in arms showing my anger towards somebody to get my point across or to speak and say hello. So that's where I'd like to leave that. And as far as me being an old dude, I believe that wisdom has its place. I believe that experience has its place through service. As I've said before, and I know I can say it many times, some people will probably never hear it because they want to push their narrative. I spent time fighting for this country. I've had people to my left and my right give the ultimate sacrifice and die for this country so that you can blog about us not having experience, people like me, like this old dude. But I'm willing to serve for the people because I've served for the people. I've served for my country when others were sleeping in their bed very comfortable at night. I've slept in the cold and the rain, 114 degree heat, where I only got 4 hours of sleep and worked 14. I've been there and I've done that. And the last thing that I'll ever do is pat myself on the back for the service that I've done for the country. I'm proud of my service, and I'm humbled that I was able to serve, because a lot of people who want to serve, they can't for whatever reason. A lot of people who want to do for others, they can't. And so because I've been able to do for others, again, all over the world, with a paintbrush in one hand and a rifle in the other hand, fighting rebels in the fields while I'm trying to get your lights on, in a place like East Timor, for example, when the Muslims and the Christians were fighting and Timor actually split and there was East Timor. As I said, broke down in the what we call LCATs. As I said, broke down in the sea, bobbing back and forth, trying to get on shore so I can do my part to serve, because that country and our country have interests together when it comes to democracy. I know a little bit about service, and I know a little bit about doing for others. While my mother's sitting here worrying if I'm gonna come back home. While my baby girl's sitting here worrying if I'm coming back home. While my son's sitting here worried if I'm coming back home. I do service, and I do service with a smile, because I understand that what I did in the Marine Corps and what I want to do for Dalton is much bigger than my ego, and is much bigger than your anger. And I believe that we can all come together and, again, do what's right for the people.
Okay, and let me tell you something. I saw somebody say he never worked in government. I'm gonna tell you this. He is a current government contractor. He works, we can't get into it, but he knows about government. That's what I can tell you. What committee would you like to be a part of, and what would be your priorities?
Wherever I'm needed most. And I would like to reiterate that I did work under the Bowser administration in Washington, D.C. That was a very important position that I served at regarding homeless veterans in the district. So I do have a little experience with that. But as far as where I would like to serve, I'll serve where I'm needed to. I would like to ensure that we as legislators are doing everything that we can to keep the people safe. That's why I didn't have an issue volunteering for the Fire and Safety Commission Board.
Okay.
So I would like to serve our veterans as best as I can that live in the community. There's a lot of people who, as I have, experienced a lot of things so that you can be safe, so that you can decide to vote for who you want to vote for, so that you can have the freedoms that you have. And there's a lot of veterans, unfortunately, that's disenfranchised when it comes to employment, when it comes to housing. There's a lot of mental resources, mental health resources that we need to dive into, especially for veterans, for everybody, but especially when it comes to veterans. We need to give space for those who need these services. And the way we do that is we work together as legislators. So I would like to head up something for our veterans, and I would absolutely like to be a part of what helps to keep Dalton safe.
He absolutely has a clearance, so he can pass a background check. Have you ever filed bankruptcy?
No, I haven't.
How do you feel about the residents being kicked out and locked out of board meetings?
It's not right. It's absolutely not right. I actually could not get into the village at one point. I believe you said you saw me there.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get in like everybody else.
And you were?
Yeah. And so I don't believe it's right to lock anybody out of their house. Now, I don't buy into the fact that there was a safety issue and therefore the people couldn't come in. I think that was the narrative that was being given. A lot of people didn't know why they couldn't come in. So if it's truly a safety issue, I believe that somebody should be responsible, whether it's the trustees or the mayor. So y'all know, I'm saying the mayor and I'm saying the trustees, somebody should come out and talk to the people and tell the people why they can't get in their house. There was a couple, and I wish I had their name in front of me. They've been in the village for 39 years, and I believe it was raining on that day. For 39 years, um, that brother had some back issues, but he had nowhere to sit. He was leaning on the building across, and they finally decided that they were just going to go ahead and leave. And it was disappointing to me, um, because I respect my elders. And the fact that the people who have given so much to the village, and I'm not sure if he was a veteran or not, he may have been a veteran, but people who've given so much to the village, have given so much to the state, can't get into their own house, I believe is unacceptable.
Thank you, Susie Q, for the super chat. Thank you, Diane Reeves, for the super chat. Susie Q says, why haven't you started a nonprofit for veterans, helping them with, I guess, just helping them?
Well, time is everything. So there's a lot of things that I have going on in my personal life. I have volunteered for veterans at Jesse Brown in Chicago. There are things that I do in private for my fellow veterans that I would like to do in public here in Dalton. So I believe that that's a good idea, and that's something that won't be off the table.
Okay, y'all, listen, this our time. What we will do, the super producer, we will unpack this interview. If you happen to use my footage, then just credit me like I credit you. Because whenever I use somebody's footage, I always credit. So please just credit me, and then I won't have to have time for you. All right. Listen. Thank you for being on All in the Queue. I appreciate you. It was a wonderful, wonderful meeting you. I feel like this was a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You got out there what you wanted to get out there. The people got some of their questions answered. Whether you got the answer you wanted or not, you got an answer. I feel like I see a lot of you all's questions. I'm going to go back and get some of them. Mr. Harrison has a podcast. What I will do is I will send him over some of the questions that we didn't get to, and maybe he will answer them for you on his podcast. It's on Intellectual Radio, correct?
Correct.
And it's called the Danasha Harrison Podcast. What nights do you come on?
So it's either the Danasha Harrison Podcast or Danasha Harrison Show. So depending on how they word it, you'll be able to find the show. So Wednesday nights, usually from 8 to 9. Sometimes the time may fluctuate if the show before me doesn't come on. But Wednesdays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., the next time I'll be on the air would be January 8th because of the holidays.
Okay, so you heard it here. So I will go back through this conversation. I will absolutely write down the questions. If Mr. Harrison so chooses, he can come back on this podcast and answer the questions if he likes. If not, maybe he'll answer them on his podcast. We'll definitely see. He's not back on until January the 8th. Super producer is, I don't know. I'm going to try to take a break maybe. We'll see. Because I'm supposed to do a double up after dark on Saturday night. But I might try to take a break. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make no mistake, it is because of you that the super producer is. Okay? I wish nothing but blessings for your life. I hope that this platform has brought you closer to whatever decision you need to make come April 1st, because they will be on the ballot April 1st. There will be a primary in February. April 1st will be the general elections. Okay? So I hope that I helped you get those answers. You can reach me at stoodupforthetea@gmail.com. If you have more questions for Mr. Harrison and you want me to get them over to him, I definitely will. Other than that, I hope you all have a great night. We got to rush out of here because there was a mini blizzard. And so we are going to be rushing out of here to try to get safely home and get something to eat. I'm starving. I think Mr. Harrison is starving. I'm going to go find me something to eat. I don't know what he's going to do. But thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please think about becoming a member of this channel. There will absolutely be more exclusive interviews with the super producer. Some of them will be in my members only community. Okay. The next person in our members only community will be Mr. Dan Lee. I know you all want to be there for this. We're going to play a little game with Mr. Dan Lee that I'm going to think you're going to want to hear the answers to this because this is going to be a good one. Okay? I love you guys. Be careful. Okay? Keep your head on a swivel. I'll see you guys next time.
Every time you wake up, you're signing past my YouTube one page. Yeah, I'm major. When you keep